That was good. Um, you got a lot of good stuff there. Let's roll into what do you think the best advice you've ever gotten is?
Whew.
Either as a driver or as an owner. Probably as a driver.
Turn the throttle on and turn tree. When the steering wheel swells up, the motor's gonna blow. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. I've actually got that advice, but that's fine. Dude's up there hanging out. Sorry, dude. Oh, fuck. What's the best advice? Oh. The best advice that I've ever gotten. It comes from somebody that I hold really close to me. Kind of started me out in the race car world. The first thing he ever told me once we started doing our own thing is be your own person. Don't listen to other people, because if you get too many people in one pot, it never works. And I think that's why we're so stubborn and motivated to do it our own way. And I take a lot of emphasis on what he said there. And I think it didn't really chime when he said it. But now that I look back on it, I definitely see a lot of that in us.
Alright, so that'll roll us right into your roots. We can talk about Daddy Dukes and starting in Modifieds with Bruce, whatever you want to do.
Okay. So, the same guy who started me out in the... No, we gotta go... I'm gonna start right from the beginning.
Okay.
So, I didn't do very good in kindergarten. They taught me how to use scissors. I don't know, like, what the... My mom got a call when I went to kindergarten. I was cutting all the paper up. And she said, "Did you teach him how to use the scissors?" And that's kind of what happened. So basically, I had to kind of get my act together, and my dad brought me to this go-kart track. It was Pomfret Motor Speedway, and we went there. I was like, "I don't want to do this, Dad. I really want to do this." And in general, most dads would be like, "Yeah, we'll go to the go-kart track, and they'll take you to like Golfland or something like that." He went and bought a mini cart. My mom thought that he just was taking me go-karting to mini golf. He bought a go-kart. We went racing. The only thing I had to do to race that go-kart at that age was to be good in school, keep my grades up. And that stayed true all the way up through high school. Until the point where we were at national level go-kart racing. We were racing down south, Alabama, Ohio. We did a lot of go-kart races all over the country. And we traveled as a family. We actually started taking a motorhome down and meeting up with another racing family, and we had a blast. And the dads had a blast, the moms had a blast. There was plenty of kids around, and I reminisce on that times, because it was one of those times where you don't even know how good it is when you're sitting there when you have a go-kart in front of you, and there's nothing to think about besides go win. There's not a what if I crash or what if this. There's nothing. It's just about how you're gonna win that race. And I think that's the beauty of being a kid racing go-karts and actually being able to enjoy every single second of it. And then so we went snowmobiling one year, and we did a border-to-border Vermont snowmobile charity fund, and we went from the bottom of Vermont all the way to the top. And I think I was 13 years old, and I met this guy named Bruce Batchelder. And Bruce Batchelder didn't know who I was, didn't know who my dad was. We ended up going 24 hours of riding in one shot, and we made it from the bottom to the top. And he's like, "Who is this kid?" And my dad got to talking to him about our go-kart racing. he's like, oh, he races go-karts. He does this stuff, and my dad's proud like every other father. And happened to be that Bruce Batchelor raced modifieds. And he said, when are you going to get that kid into a race car? Within a week we had a race car. So we found a little 4-cylinder mini stock, went out there, and we had a blast, won some races, and obviously it was time to move up after a year of doing that, and we went into the late model division and had some success with that. We obviously had some learning curves to overcome. Bruce was my crew chief at the time, and we learned a lot. My dad and myself, and actually my crew chief Danny was kind of popping in here and there at that point. Not every race, but I think that's what got him interested in the race car thing. And we ended up making it 2 full seasons almost until the last 3 races of the second season in that late model. And I got in a bad wreck, and I actually needed to clip the car, and we couldn't afford to do it. So Bruce tried to get me a ride in a modified, and the guy he was trying to get me a ride in a modified with was not accepting of a young non-modified driver getting in his car. And Bruce believed in me, and he actually stepped out of a championship season so that I could drive his race car that race, and then I was driving that guy's car the very next week. So I owe a lot to him on that, and we actually won our second race in a modified. So that thing had me hooked right away. It was just like a go-kart, you know. A lot of horsepower, big tires, handles good, and I can't really say much more about that. It's a blast. There's a lot of bump and banging and adrenaline and close action.
Alright, let's talk about Phil.
Phil, though, the jack of all trades. He can jack your mom off, your daddy up, and your brother around. Sorry.
I'm gonna need that clip to send to Phil. It's gonna be awesome. That's a good clip. Very good clip.
Shit.
None of it's champion appropriate. That's a wicked good clip.
I was looking directly at the camera.
I know. When you want to accentuate something, look directly at the camera. I'm not going to look at the camera for anything.
Except for when Phil wants to come on board. So Phil, the crew guy, he's the guy with the big beard. He's the old main personality. He's got that calmness about him that everybody likes, and always got a smile going no matter what happens, always laughing. He's our jack guy. He comes strictly to the track. He's not a crew guy in the shop, but that's what he was signed up for, and that's what he does, and he's loyal to our team, and I can't thank him enough for coming on. I'm like thanking him. That was weird.
I'm thanking him for...
No, I was like thanking him like I was gonna like thank a sponsor or something.
No, I guess like Phil's like... The biggest thing about Phil is you can trust him, right? So
Phil, yeah.
So he's our jack guy, and like when he jacks it up when you come in
That's a good
under a caution.
See, that's where you would understand, and I wouldn't. But
you wouldn't. But you come in under a caution. Phil's the guy that jacks it up, and we have to trust him to not drop us.
I like it. So Phil's our jack guy. He's that go-lucky kind of Maine personality. He's from Maine. He's got the big old beard. He came on board with us, and he's a trustworthy guy. I mean, no one wants to lay under a race car, under a quick stop pit, and be afraid that the car's going to drop. They need to know that he has that jack on point, and he's going to do it the right way every time, because they don't hesitate to look back and see if he's not doing his job right. Because if he screws up, everybody gets screwed up. You know, we can't change tires. We can't do the setup change, or somebody could potentially get hurt if if that case ever happened, he's always making sure that in the pits we got jack stands under it. Whenever people will jack that thing up and just try to get something done fast. He's like, nope, gotta get the jack stand under it, and it's a big asset to the team because you need somebody like that on the crew to really look over the safety aspects of it. See how I did that?
Yep, that was good.
I like to think safety aspects. And
I
I didn't get it at first.
I didn't get it. That was good.
We got all.
Ooh.
I didn't really talk much about my old man.
No, you didn't. We'll do that next, and then I got another good one.
Problem is that that's like a weird one to talk about.
It's a weird one.
I could go.
Maybe
way,
I can.
I could go way
Maybe
too
I
many.
can lead you a little bit.
I could go way too many directions with it.
No,
That's the
maybe I
problem.
can lead you a little bit. So.
I need a beer though.
Yeah.
Can we take like a 5-minute
Yeah,
interval?
turn it off.
Let's drink a beer and
Smoke
fucking
cigarette.
smoke my lungs away.
M&M's.